Okay, we're going to work on his face. It looks like I didn't bring the blue quite far enough down, but this is my, you can use medium white or titanium white, plus a little yellow oxide. And we're going to lay the color in. I'm going to go around his little eye. There's lots of paint on there. And then I'm going to pinch wipe my brush. Just grab the paper towel, pinch it, squeeze, and that takes most of the paint out. And I need to blend these two colors together by just tapping the dark to the light and the light to the dark. Okay, we're going to put a little bit of some dark, I'm going to call that right above his nose or his beak area. Needs to be dark blue. Goes around the top of his eye. And we're going to wind across the front of his face. I'm going to pinch wipe my brush. And then I'll softly just blend these two colors together. It just takes a touch or two. Not tough. And we're going to pick up just a little bit more white. A little white, and we're going to highlight his head just a little bit. So he's got a little light on his feathers. Okay. And that dark blue mix. Is right there. And it looks like I'm running out of white, so I'm going to take out a little bit more white paint. I found these wonderful little jars. They're so nice because you don't have to mix up a whole huge amount of globals all at once. They're just small jars, and I can grab them and take them, put a few colors in a basket, and off I go, and I can paint anywhere. So I love my little jars. So if you haven't put your paints in small containers, it's nice because it keeps the air out. The paints dry so easily. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of white on his cheek, little cheekbone, and over this eye area. Now you'll have to lay the color in, then pinch wipe, and you can soften that white. We'll come back to his eye shortly. And then down below, we're going to pull some of the blue up into the white area of his body. Now I didn't want it to look too spiky, which that kind of got spiky. So now I'll go back with a little bit of that medium white mix on my brush, and I'll just pull downwards. But this just softens that edge and blends those two colors slightly together, right at that edge. There we go. I like that blend. And a little extra dark should be here, but I think I'm seeing extender. It looks like when I mixed this color up, I got a little too much extender. So I'm going to let that set, and I'll come back to darkening that up later. Sometimes when you think you're creaming your paints, you add a little bit more extender than needed. His eye is going to be black, so I'm going to paint a little eye here. And I'll probably let that set up a little bit before I put the white dash. I don't want to lift it. Sometimes it lifts if you don't let it set a minute. And his beak, is going to be yellow oxide. Yellow oxide. And we're going to pick up just a little bit of that burnt umber. And we're going to shade the underside of that beak a little bit shadow. See if I can do it. A little bit of glare. Let's see if we can tip it up a little. Does that help? And then I'm going to put a highlight of white. And that goes out to the tip of the beak. And I put just a little tiny bit of red right at the corner. Right at the corner of his eye and where it meets his beak. It's just a little bit of red. Let's see. I had my liner brush here a minute ago. Here it is. Let's take a little bit of white. We'll put a high shine in his eye. Nice little white dot. And I'm going to just wipe my line around so it doesn't have quite as much paint. And I'm going to put a little dash of white. Right at the bottom of the eye. It's only 2 little marks and then it's a good black eye. Okay. Okay, and that's starting to set up, so I'm not going to fuss too much with that paint because I'll put my fingers in it like I just did. So we'll let that set. Okay, now we're going to work on his breast area and the side of the wing. I'm going to use a little bit of my medium white and I'm going to paint in We'll pull that blue down into the white in a minute. Let's just get this area nice and creamy. Get it? Secret with these paints, don't spread them out too thin because you want to blend into them, so keep them creamy. Lots of paint. I'll never forget David used to say when we were taking classes on how to use the paints, when he was trying to tell us that we need to use a good amount of paint to blend into. He'd say, use lots of paint. Martha wants a new car. I thought that was cute. Okay. So I've got that area pretty light. Oh, I can do the tail as well. Okay, now we're going to take some of our little bit of our yellow oxide. I'm just picking it up on a dirty brush. And we know that the wing is going to be, we had a pencil line before. Let's see if I can make a little etching so you can see about where that the wing is going to come in this way, just so you can see it. Nope, can't see it on the camera. Let's see. Okay, I'll take a pencil, and we want to keep the wing area just a little bit in here. Can you see that? This is the wing, the side wing. Just going to know that's where that's going to go. Now we're going to take a little bit of this yellow oxide, and we're going to put a little bit of this blend it everywhere but right in this rounded area. We'll go up next to it. I'm going to keep that where the highlight's going to go. So we're putting just a little bit of yellow oxide in here. Okay, I'm going to put just a little bit of that where the leg portion will go. And now I'm going to pinch wipe my brush and I'm going to soften these two colors here. Got a little too much blue. Pick up a little bit more of your medium white. Okay, and we're going to put in some white, just pure white. Pinch wipe your brush. And we're going to chop this in to make it look feathery on his chest. This makes him look like he's got some feathers right here. And then it fades off as it goes down. And then we're going to go over with our medium blue mix. That was the dark blue plus the little bit of white into it. This is a little brighter blue. And we're going to stroke this in a choppy motion because the wing has feathers. So it can be choppy. And this goes all the way up to his neck. And if your edge is getting dry, I pick up just a little bit more medium white and work that edge. And he's going to get a little tiny highlight on the top portion of the wing. It won't stay that bright. I'll just work it into the wing color. So it'll just be light blue. And put a little bit more blue in here. And his tail gets this nice blue also. And you can pinch white, work those two colors together. And I'm going to bring a little bit more of that dark blue that we had before, bring it up into the blue, just putting a little bit more blue in my brush of the dark blue and pulling it up. And I can see up here here needs a little bit more of the dark blue. And now we're going to take that neck edge and we're going to pull that down a little bit into the, well, I got a little carried away there. That's okay because this paint is wonderful. I'm going to pinch wipe my brush. I'm going to take a little bit more of the medium beige again and pull it back up. Keep wiping your brush as you pick up the blue. Okay. Alright, we're going to darken again. Right under here a little bit, we lost that shadow. So with just a little bit of blue on my brush, I'm going to shadow a little of that. I think I can put just a few more shadows in this wing. Just a few more shadows in here I think would look very pretty. Okay, and a little bit more of the white up in here. That's good. Now I like that highlight. Oh, my kitty's talking to us. Okay, and you need a little bit of white right here on the leg portion. And we can take a little bit of our raw umber and we can paint in some little feet. And I see I missed a small section of this little branch. So make sure that goes all the way through. Yeah. Okay, put the little feet on. This guy has a section under him that gets a little bit of medium white and a little bit of the dark blue right over here. And that's the top portion of the leg. I made it a little too round. Okay, I'm going to stop here and we'll go on in a minute.